Hey, how's it going? I'm just checking in here in my room. I'm in New York right now, shooting for two different clients. 503. Here. Okay. Oh, what's that? How is it? You know what I love about being in a hotel is I have my own TV. So, I am bed ready. I had a long day and I want to answer a quick question from Moshe Bree, who wrote me in one of the comments the following thing or comment. I really like this new vlog format. Question: if after vetting a client you decide they are not a good fit for you, how do you turn them down in a way that sounds professional and not rude? Thanks. So, Moshe, let's say I, vetted the client and I don't like, to work with them. What I have done basically, I have prepared in my email program kind of a signature. You see this? And when I have a flyout thing here, you can set this up in mail on the iPhone, like by going to Mail, Preferences, and then you have here signatures, right? And here I have all the different signatures I can have. So I'll show you how it works. You can set them all up and then apply them here to the different accounts where you want to have them available for. So if I open up an email like this and I want to reject a client, here's what I do. I think 2 or 3 steps. Open this up. Then it should say client rejection. Boom. And there is my email about client rejection. So let me read it to you, right? Hey, XXX. Thanks so much for taking the time to fill out the questionnaire. So I sent probably a questionnaire beforehand and I say thank you so much for this. Okay. Then I looked over it and I'm afraid we can't be of help at the moment, given the parameters you outlined in the questionnaire. So, as you see, I say at the moment because I don't know if they might change, something. The budget, and most of the time it's the budget is just not where it really needs to be in order to XXX. So XXX is basically the goal that they outlined in the questionnaire. They want to grow, they want to get more applicants, $1.5 million, whatever it is. A film for that amount, if someone agrees on that kind of budget. So for example, if they filled out in my questionnaire, there is in my questionnaire a question called, what's your budget? And they say $5,000. A film for that amount regarding the budget that they claimed or that they filled out, if someone agrees on that kind of budget, can do you rather harm and eventually debrand your, and that's basically XXX, whatever brand it is. So what I'm doing here is I let them know the budget is way too low for professional work, and anyone who tries to, take on a project like this is probably a liar, to do it for that amount of money, because there is only if a client wants a certain result, they have to come up with a certain investment. It's kind of a ratio thing. So if a client wants $1 million, they can't just spend $5,000 in order to get the $1 million in growth, because then everybody would do that. But there's a lot of videographers out there that would make the claim, oh, I make, the video for $5,000. And what I'm doing here, I'm cautioning him, I know you don't have the money right now, but don't go with a cheapo guy. It's kind of a subliminal warning, because you could debrand yourself. Debrand means that in the end, the client, if he goes with someone cheaper, they can only do harm to their brand. So again, a film for that amount, if someone agrees on that kind of budget, can do you rather harm and eventually brand your XXX, your brand. Bear in mind the competition invests into great marketing films, so it would be a waste even having such a film. So another subliminal threat, right? Like saying, don't waste your money on that, but I say then, hey, your competition is catching up. They're doing great stuff. I'm just doing this very casually, very subliminally. So to push the client forward to rethink their decision making based on the budget. Now my next line is, I think you are better off to use your money and do maybe a year of Facebook ads with it. So what I'm doing here is, let's say the client has $5,000. I say, not a good idea for an investment into video. Video is expensive in order to be effective. It's an investment. But, I don't want to come across like someone just, that my potential client feels like I'm just threatening him or I'm dishonest in order to get his business. No, I'm giving him here actually an alternative. Hey, listen, you have $5,000, you don't have more, go rather and spend your money in a different way. And Facebook advertising would be my vehicle. But the cool thing is I know that my client is never going to go and spend the $5,000 on Facebook advertising, even though he could, because it's quite complex to do really good Facebook advertising that has similar results like a film campaign can do. And then I'm finishing off with, if you think the parameters are flexible and aligned with reaching your goals, I'm happy to reconsider. Talk soon. So what I'm doing here in this last paragraph is, hey, listen, you have $5,000, that's what you told me. But if there is any change, let's say you have actually more money than you wrote down, let's say you lied, or you find a different pot with money, or you have any other means of shifting the budget in some way, then let me know, and I'm happy to reconsider. And it's really designed in that way, Moshe, that I tell him that I'm very clearly straightforward. I'm giving him, I'm warning him, hey, don't go with the cheapo guy. Here's an alternative that your money would be better invested than in a cheapo video. But if you reconsider, I am happy, to discuss this with you. And I think it's a very nice kind of way of having this kind of funnel going forward with this type of email. And I don't think so it's like pushing anyone away in a way that where they would be offended. So that would be kind of my take on how to gently push a client away or turn away. And often, like more often than not, at least they come back and have another discussion with me. Usually what happens is the client doesn't have the money, but I found that give it a little bit of more time, usually between half a year and sometimes 2-3 years, but then they come back because of such an approach, because they see that you are sincere, that you're genuine, and they trust you with that type of email and response. And then they kind of save up over time in order to afford your rates. And then when they come again, the second time, you have a big lever in your hand in order to close the deal. So I hope this helps. And if you like more of those type of hacks, go to entrefilmmaker.com. Over there, subscribe. I have now something, that you probably will like a lot. It's called Weekend Musings, where I show you, my 4 or 5 bullet points that I have discovered throughout the week. It could be, parts of my vlogs that I'm showing off there. Something that I discovered I read, or a strategy that I'm sharing, or a piece of gear that really changes, everything in my production and being more productive. And hop over to Hunter Filmmaker and sign up over there, and then you get those goodies. And if you don't want to go over there, you can also subscribe right here in YouTube. And, that gives me much more exposure to many, many other video professionals, film professionals, and I think that's a great thing if many, many people get this stuff, to work with, because I think it's really important that we establish fair business, because I am really tired of having this attitude. The client has the money, the client has the power. I think it's a collaboration between all of us. It should be win-win. Nobody takes advantage of anyone. And this kind of vlog that I'm, and my episodes that I'm doing here is really trying to get back to a balance. Okay? Happy shooting and have a good night. I see you later in my next episode. Okay? Bye-bye.